Good Mommin'
Monday. You're here at the Mistake Mama podcast. I'm Kaylee.
And I'm Mandee.
And we're checking our list.
And we're checking it twice.
Hey, that was kind of cute.
That was pretty cute.
Okay. This week on the podcast, we're going to be talking about traditions. But firstly, I hope you enjoyed our new Christmas intro. We had one for Halloween, just that whole October month. We didn't really have one at all for Thanksgiving. We kind of had like a sneak peek one last week. But so this week, we're just diving straight into the holiday season. As you can see, we have decorated.
We're festive.
We are festive. If you're just listening to the podcast, we did decorate our set just like we did for the Halloween season, sorry. And so we've got that, and yeah, I like the way that it looks. It looks pretty.
Very pretty in here.
You should check out our YouTube if you are not a YouTube watcher and just see what we did.
Yeah.
Because we're pretty proud of it.
I really like how it turned out.
It's very cute.
It's not too much.
Some people might disagree, but I like it.
True.
I don't think it's too much.
I think it's very cute.
I think so too. So yeah, traditions.
Yeah, traditions. Oh, first, wins, fails, books.
Wins, fails, books.
Well, I can get my win and fail right out the gate.
Okay.
When I was able to get Maverick to fall asleep in his room without any fuss last night.
Yay.
Fail about 2 hours later.
Okay.
He woke up and was very confused, very disoriented in his room. Mom, I need Daddy. Mom, Daddy. And then I went and I laid him back down in his room, and he was fussing around. And he sat back up and he's just like, And I said, do you want to go lay in Mommy's bed? And he goes, yeah. So I went and I put him in our bed. He's still fussing around. I'm like, what's going on, buddy? And he sits up and he's like, I have to pee. I was like, okay, let's go pee. So we went pee, and then I just took him back in our room, and he immediately was out. And I was like, well, we tried. So we'll try again tonight.
One thing we did was we would start them in their room, and then if they ended up in our bed, once they were like out, like the kind of out where you can move them, we put them back.
Yeah.
That's what we did.
Fair.
I'm not saying necessarily you should do that.
Yeah, we're definitely trying to venture into it more. I think he's starting to outgrow his little sidecar bed. He's starting to get a little bit more uncomfortable. It's
toddler bed.
It's
right?
Yes, crib toddler bed. Yeah. So he's starting to outgrow it. And so I really want to get him in there. And we just reorganized his room again. And he was really excited to sleep in there. And even this morning when I talked to him about it, he was like, yeah, I'll try it again. But he also had a bad dream last night.
Oh, no.
He woke up in our bed. He woke up and he was like, Mommy, Mimi, Maverick, not safe. And I was like, oh, we're okay. We're safe. And he's like, I need Daddy. Make me safe. And I was like, oh, my gosh. And Michael was still up. So he came in the room. And he didn't hear what he said. So he's like, do you have to pee? Because that's usually what it is. And Maverick's like, no. And he's like, all right, baby. Well, I'll be right in. And he closed the door. He's like, no, Daddy, come back. Not safe. So then Michael was cuddling him. And then he was in our bed. So we went from his bed to his bed in our room to our bed. It was a little rough night last night.
Oh, yeah. We've learned that Anna took a really long time to acclimate to her bed. Damon took it fast. Yeah. But Anna, no.
Right.
Maybe first babies.
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking, because they go from like three of us now to by themselves. So that's got to be a transition.
Yeah, I think so.
So I think Michael was saying, because we wanted to make this room Quincy's room, but we're thinking to transition, we're going to start her off in Maverick's room, and maybe that'll help both of them feel comfortable.
Yeah, because I don't know, that's what we were thinking, that like, oh, maybe that's why Damon transitioned so easily, is because Anna was already in there.
Right. They don't feel alone.
And we're hoping that it's as easy of a transition for Ellie, who loves bedtime. So did Damon. Anna wasn't as much about bedtime.
Right.
But Damon and Ellie were, so
we'll see. Yeah. So yeah, what about you? Wins, fails?
So a win for us is that, so we do live in a small apartment, okay, and we have too many kids in a small apartment.
You make it work.
We do. And we're now making it work a lot better. They're all really young, very close in age. And so keep your judgments to yourself. But so their room is, we measured it 9 feet by 9.5 feet.
Okay.
So that's kind of a small room.
I don't think I've ever measured the kids' room. And I'll have to measure because I don't think it's that far off from Maverick's room. Or this room?
Growing up, the smallest room in our house was a 10 by 10.
Okay.
And that felt like a cramped room. And so it makes sense that this one feels even more cramped, especially because one wall is completely dedicated to the door and the closet.
Oh, true.
And then another wall has the window, which is really low to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And then a third wall.
Kind of like our windows. They're pretty low.
I can't tell where the bottom of your window is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their window is 28 inches off the ground.
I think ours is close to that because we just bought blinds for Maverick's room. And I want to say it was 27 or 26 inches. So.
Mm-hmm. And then another wall relatively close to the halfway point, but not quite at the halfway point, is their wall heater, which we're not allowed to block.
Yeah. I forgot about the wall heater.
Yep. So we only have one usable wall
to put stuff up against.
Mm-hmm. Because we can't block the window.
Right.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah.
We can't block the heater for obvious reasons. Can't block the closet or the door. So we have one wall.
Oh, man.
And it's been driving us nuts trying to figure out, like, okay, well, whatever. We had a loft bed in there where Anna was on top and Damon's bed was underneath. We just got a 3-tier bunk bed, which sounds insane.
Hey, I've seen they make like 12. Like they make crazy ones.
Yeah. And so Anna's on the top bunk. Damon's in the middle. They are so happy. Mm-hmm. We don't quite yet have a mattress for Ellie, who will be on the bottom bunk.
Yeah.
But we're getting there and they love it. And we're reorganizing the room because it was kind of chaotic how their toys were stored in there. So we're redoing all of that and it's just going to be so much easier, so much more organized, and it's not going to feel as cramped.
Yeah.
Because like we have looked into trying to get into a bigger space, but we ultimately decided that we're just going to stay put for a while until we are in a position to be able to afford more, because our area is not the most cost friendly.
Right. Yeah.
And 3 bedrooms in our area are like $2,200, but all the ones that I see, you have like no dining or living space.
Right.
And so we've been like, okay, well, to get that third room, you know, to be able to like separate the boys and girls or whatever, we would be sacrificing all of our living space because we have a relatively large dining and living area.
Yeah.
And so we're like, you know what? They play out there all the time anyways.
Right.
9 times out of 10, all they're doing is sleeping or watching TV in their room.
Right.
So I don't think it's that big of a deal to have all 3 in there. So that we can keep the large living space.
Right, yeah.
Which is where they play.
And didn't you guys contemplate moving them into your guys' master and then moving your bed into the...
Yep, and we did see that, but our bed would take up almost that entire room.
Oh, okay.
As in, we would not even be able to have nightstands or dressers.
So you probably
unless
have
we
to
shoved
push it up against a wall.
Yes.
Or like wall corner.
Yeah, because we have a master, and if we put master against the only wall, it would literally be within 2 feet of walking in the room or slamming into the bed.
Yeah.
And we would have roughly 1.5 feet of space between the end of the bed and the wall, which isn't enough for a dresser. So we'd have to put the dressers in the closet, which is really small.
Right. Yeah, that wouldn't work.
No, we tried. We tried to see if that was feasible.
I remember you had talked about it.
Because it would give the kids more room.
Right.
I did like a scale model on paper and whatever. Yeah. We would lose too much of what our room is also used for, because with like bookshelves, we have some other things in there. We kind of use our room a little bit as storage.
Right.
So we would essentially lose all of that space just to make their room a little bit roomier.
Right.
When instead we could just readjust how their room is. So
I think it was a good idea that you guys did it that way.
Yeah, and their new bed actually takes up less space because her bed before had stairs on one side.
Right, so it came out more.
Yeah. And so it was technically longer.
Right.
By about 1.5 feet. And so now it takes up 1.5 feet less space.
That's nice.
Which ended up giving us enough space to put some shelves on that side where some toys and other things can be stored.
Yeah. Which it doesn't sound like that much space, but when you're already limited,
Yes.
it's a huge help.
Yeah, we used to have to sit on Damon's mattress just to be able to open up his drawers.
Oh, yeah.
Because the bed came so close to it, you couldn't reasonably stand there, but now you can stand there.
Right, yeah.
And so we're really excited to have everything redone in their room, not be chaotic anymore.
Yeah, I think that'll be good.
That's our win.
Yay.
That's our win.
Nice. Books. I am just about to start the third Abrat. I think I have like 10 pages left. So getting through it. Still enjoying it. It's definitely taken turns that I didn't expect. So I like it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. What about you?
For me, as far as books, I finished Bird Box.
Oh, yes.
And I'm halfway through A Court of Silver Flames because remember I restarted it.
Right.
So I'm halfway
The
through,
audio.
which is which is pretty much right where I was because I got roughly halfway.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So I'm there. That's where
Nice.
that's where I'm currently at.
Nice.
And so as far as what Kindle book I'm going to pick back up because I was reading Bird Box on Kindle and I typically do like an audiobook and a Kindle book kind of at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm considering either going for like maybe some more Stephen King or whatever kind of like type stuff. I really want to read Firestarter.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to debate if I should do the paperback or Kindle.
Right.
Or if I want to pick up one of the romances that I have kind of set aside.
Yeah.
So I haven't fully decided. I'll let you guys know what I decided.
You may know next week.
I may know next week. Yeah.
Cool. So, traditions.
Traditions.
Yes. I feel like Christmas is, in our family, it's more about the traditions, less about, zero about, like, the
Religion side of
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as I can remember in my childhood and then, of course, in my adulthood, it's never been about that.
No, there was kind of a short time growing up with like my now ex stepdad. I think he was religious. Like he was insistent on putting like the angel on top and whatever. We didn't have to like pray to God and stuff, but
right.
I feel like for him it was a little bit more about the core of the Christmas spirit versus it being about family or traditions. And so there was a short time where it was like a little bit muddled.
Right.
But for the most part, it's always been about tradition.
Yeah. My mom has always put like an angel on the top of her tree, and she's always had what is it called? It's like all the people and baby Jesus.
I had it. I had it in my head, and then you said, what is it called? And I got...
The manger? No, that's wrong.
I think you're not far off. That's not what it's called. But I think the manger is where he was supposedly born. I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I know
Hopefully
exactly.
you guys know what you're talking about. Maybe we can
Little
insert a picture of what it is.
This thing. I'm pretty sure you guys know exactly what we're trying to talk about.
It's like the three.
It is the manger scene
with baby
thing.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Virgin Mary or whatever.
And there's animals. Usually.
Yeah.
All of that. Yeah.
Anyway, my mom has that, but she's never made it feel super religious. So.
Yeah.
I've never experienced that side of it. Mostly it is like traditions for us and stuff.
Yeah. And you guys never went to like church or whatever on Christmas, did you?
No.
I didn't think so.
No.
Yeah. We never have either.
Yeah. I went to church like a handful of times as a kid. Like
I don't think I've
randomly.
Ever.
I remember one time, this is off topic, but one time we went to church and I remember like halfway through it, I was little and I told my mom like, I don't want to be here. And so we left.
Yeah. I've been to a church a couple of times, but on my own accord.
Yeah.
As an adult, not because I wanted to adopt religion, but I went. It was a deaf church. I was going to immerse myself in deaf culture for my studies.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that it was actually really interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Is
it very silent?
No.
Oh, okay.
You'd think, but no.
I just imagine like an awkward silence of like people signing to each other.
No. It's so loud.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
It's so cool.
Why is it loud?
Well, so I
guess people are just hard of hearing. They're not necessarily deaf.
Yeah. So the one that I went to, it was I want to say, I could be wrong. I feel like it was the Church of All Nations in Lakewood or Tacoma, Washington.
Okay.
And they had a deaf, whatever it was, like deaf and hard of hearing.
Yeah.
That's actually where I learned how deaf people think.
Oh, okay.
And was comparing it to if you had heard before in your life. If you hadn't, do you think in words, in pictures, or do you sign in your mind? Like,
right.
That was where I did that survey.
Yeah.
But there was a preacher who was hearing, spoke, whatever. So he would preach like normal. Mm-hmm. He knew sign. There would be an interpreter. And what is it? The hymns or the hymn or whatever you sing?
Hymns, I think.
I think it's hymns. Whatever.
Hymns sounds weird.
I think it's hymns, but I'm sorry.
Know, me either.
I do not mean any disrespect if I'm mispronouncing that at all.
Yeah.
But they sing.
Oh.
It's a lot of fun. They'll sign it at the same time, but they'll also sing.
Oh, okay.
Even the ones that don't talk.
Oh, interesting.
It just kind of sounds like
Can
a lot
they
of
hear
humming.
kind of the vibrations of it?
I think so. Some of them would be touching the wooden chair or the wooden things in front of them.
Oh, okay.
And there would be, I want to say a couple of times they put speakers on the floor, right? Whatever, so they would vibrate the chairs and stuff.
Oh,
it was
kind of cool.
Really cool to see.
That is cool. Huh.
Oh, yeah. There was one lady who she had never heard. So she's been deaf since birth. And it was really funny. And I say funny, let me get to my point before somebody gets offended. I was talking to her afterwards. She was one of the people that I interviewed, and she was one of the people that said that she sees signs in her mind. Mm-hmm. And I asked her what her favorite thing coming here was, and she's like, I can't sing worth crap. In sign, she pretty much signed this to me. She's like, I can't sing worth crap, but I love it because it makes the hearing people laugh. She was like 80, 90. And
that's funny.
It just made me laugh.
It's funny that she knows that she can't sing.
I think if I remember correctly, I think her granddaughter is hearing, and her granddaughter was like, Grandma.
Oh, okay.
Please stop. You're embarrassing
I was
me.
like, I wonder if they can tell like a good singer versus a bad singer.
Yeah. Because
based on the vibrations and stuff.
Maybe. I honestly have no idea how that works. But yeah, it made me laugh just like how open she was about it.
Yeah.
Because if you've ever heard a deaf person talk, they have what's known as the deaf accent.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that happens when they sing too.
Okay.
Some people have it way more intense than others.
Yeah.
And so it just made me laugh that she acknowledged that. And I really liked hearing everybody sing. It just sounded really cool because it was like they didn't care what they sounded like to us hearing people.
Yeah.
And they were just in it.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah. That's the only time I've ever been to church was when I went there.
Yeah. Interesting.
I loved it. Honestly, like, I'm not religious at all, but I would 100% go back just to be there for those people because it was so much fun.
That is really neat.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. It's really cool.
Cool.
Yeah. I didn't ever go to church growing up.
Yeah,
that was the point.
There was our church sidetrack. We're not religious.
No.
Yeah, but traditions, I feel like I wouldn't call them religious, but I feel like they're kind of their own little, it brings everybody together. Everybody enjoys them. Mm-hmm. Kind of like how religion does that for other people.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. What's like the first tradition that you remember, like as young as you were?
So, I swear everything stems back to my grandma because she was super involved in my life growing up. But we always had Christmas dinner. She was always there, whether it was at her house or at ours. We'd always get together Christmas morning. My mom would make cinnamon rolls every morning. And then my grandma would give, like, we would open like our Santa presents and our stockings before my grandma got there, but then we couldn't open anything else. Or maybe it was just our stockings. Something like that. My grandma would come, we'd open her presents, and then we'd open like everything else. Yeah. Is like, that's kind of how it goes. And so that's the earliest, is just kind of like that sequence of events. Yeah. And then she would stay for dinner. So what about you? What's like the earliest tradition that you can remember?
Probably, so on my mom's dad's side, so my grandpa, they've always done brown sacks. If you've listened to our last podcast, I believe that I talked about this, like when we just had audio, when it was crappy.
Okay. I was like, last week, I don't remember any of this.
Not last week, last time we did the podcast.
Okay.
Like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, a while ago. Okay, now I'm caught up because I was like, I was like, oh, brown sacks. Okay. I'm like, vaguely, whatever. And then you were like, last podcast. I'm like, ooh.
Why don't I remember this? Yeah. No. So
now it's coming back to me. We recorded it in the car.
Yes.
It's there.
Yes, exactly. So basically what the brown sacks are, it's a brown paper sack, and it's filled with the shell-on peanuts, usually like candy, but it's mostly like the hard old candy that nobody really wants. They've upgraded since then. And usually like an apple, orange, whatever in there.
Just some treats.
But then there's also coins and dollars. And usually one bag. It's gone up over the years.
Didn't we do this at your mom's last year?
Yes. My mom has taken it on now too.
Okay. I was going to say, hold on, I remember this.
Yeah. And so usually one of the bags has a highest dollar amount. It's gone up over the years.
Which I think now we're up to like $20.
Yeah. I think now we're up to $20, but it used to be literally like $1 or $2, and then it was $5 and so on. Anyway, and so you go so all the sacks for everybody that's there are lined up around the tree or whatever they're at. Usually they were around the tree. And you go from youngest to oldest grabbing a bag. You don't know what's in it. It's just when we were kids, we would decorate the bags for my grandma.
That's cute.
And then she would just fill them randomly, which kind of helped like choose it because you chose it based on the design, you know? But anyway, so you go youngest to oldest. And then once everybody has their bag, then you open them up. Usually my grandma would bring out bowls and we would dump them in the bowls or dump them on the ground, wherever. And then whoever has the most wins in a sense. Yeah. Yeah. You just win the most. That's so there's nothing like really to it, but if that went away, I would be very, very sad because that is something that I remember from like super, super young. And now my mom has taken it on. So
we got to participate last year, which was a lot of fun. Yeah.
So we still go down up to Washington, or they come down here. And we do like a big, my mom's side of the family, Christmas, Thanksgiving is what we do. And so we still do it a part of that. But now, because we celebrate Christmas on our own, my mom has started to do it for our little family. When you came, she incorporated you guys.
Which was still super nice of her. She definitely didn't have to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I really like it. And I know that, you know, if my mom ever stops doing it or whatever, I'll take it on.
You'll take it on?
Yeah. So.
That's cute.
Yeah.
And then you guys also do the saran wrap.
My mom has started that.
We've also participated in the last 2 years, which was a lot of fun too.
Yeah, she just started that.
It's competitive.
Like 4 years ago. Basically, you take saran wrap. You guys might have seen it on like TikTok or something. But you basically put candy, dollar bills, gift cards.
It's basically pass the parcel.
Yeah.
If you watch Bluey.
Yeah.
But not Lucky's dad's way. We don't do it that way.
But you basically like wrap the saran wrap around like one piece of candy. Then you'd like tuck $1. Then you'd keep wrapping until it's like this huge saran wrap ball.
It's huge.
And then you...
Like a soccer ball almost type size. It was big.
Yeah. And I've seen some people where they use... oven mitts to try to take it off.
I've heard of that.
It's already hard enough, so we don't feel like that's necessary.
Well, yeah, because somebody might get it and then they might get nothing. I remember the first time we got to play with you guys. My first round, I could not even get it up, and I was bummed
because my mom sets a 30-second timer, or maybe it's less than that. Maybe it's like a 10-second timer.
I honestly
it's
don't
not
remember.
long.
It's not. It was not long at all.
And the rules are you can't rip into it.
You have to unwrap. I mean, if it
rips while you're doing it,
that's different. But like then you have to don't continue the rip. Just
exactly.
Keep going.
Because some saran wraps, they're very easily, once it's torn, it just tears.
Goes. Yeah.
But yeah, so my mom has started that one, and that one's really fun.
There was usually candy, sometimes gift cards.
Sometimes dollar bills.
And then everybody kind of just traded at the end.
Yeah.
I don't go to Dunkin' Donuts, but I go to Starbucks. And
right, exactly.
Switch it up with people.
And, some of us in the family are or / were vegan. And so we would swap out. My mom would get like vegan candies. And so we'd swap the vegan candies for the other candies and stuff like that.
So it didn't even really matter if you didn't get anything.
Yeah,
because
you would swap around. Yeah.
Yep. I think, what was it, that one year I got like a piece of candy and Thomas gave me like half of it. He's like, here, you can have the chocolate.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was like, oh man, my first time doing it and I
failed. Think last year, I think it was last year, you guys got a bunch of Dutch Bros gift cards, and we got a bunch of Starbucks, and so we all swapped because you guys
don't go to Dutch Bros.
Yeah. and Michael goes to Dutch Bros. So I think I kept like 2 of the Starbucks ones, and then I was like, here, take them, we'll swap them.
Yeah.
But
and you and I tend to buy each other coffee all the time
yeah,
anyway, so
exactly.
it was like, yeah, it doesn't matter.
It worked out great. But yeah, so we usually, so for my family, my little Michael, me, the kids, we, on Christmas Eve, that's our day. So we don't see anybody on Christmas Eve. It's just our day that we stay home. We're in jammies and we watch Christmas movies all day long. And if I need to make like treats or anything, I make treats, and we just stay home. And then Christmas Day, we wake up, we do presents here. And then usually, you know, have breakfast, slowly get ready. And then we go over to my mom's. We do presents at my mom's. And then we eat Christmas dinner at my mom's. And then usually afterwards, after we get through the sacks and the saran wrap ball, we usually just play games. We'll get out the board games, the card games, and we just play games until it's dark, and then it's time to go home. Yeah.
That checks out for what I've experienced over there the last 2 years.
And I love it. I love everything about it. There's nothing I wouldn't change. And I feel like the one thing that I really, really like is that I've never felt the pressure of, you know how some families, and it's fine, it's totally fine that they want to do it, they get really, really dressed up. Oh. And it's like a very fancy, like, event. Yes.
It almost becomes a formal event in a living room that you wear jammies in all the time. I typically, like, when we go over to my mom's, I usually will put on, like, jeans and a sweater. Kind of what I'm in right now. Nothing fancy, but a little bit dressed up. You're not in, like, sweats.
But I have gone over in my sweats. I have gone over in my jammies before. And I like that it's not, I don't feel pressured when I go over to my mom's to be a certain way, you know? Yeah. And I really like that about it.
Yeah, we never did the dress up thing either. There would be, like, when I was, like, a kid, I would put on my fancy dress.
Yeah.
But, like, because I wanted to, it was never expected, and everybody else was wearing jeans and a shirt.
Right. Like, as the kids are little right now, I kind of like to dress them up because they don't care right now. But the second Maverick tells me, no, Mom, I don't want to wear that, it's uncomfortable, cool, don't have to wear it. You know?
Yeah, like, that's kind of how we are, too. Like, I'm thinking I'm going to put them all in pretty much what exactly they were in when we took our family photos. That's probably what they're just going to wear on either Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever days that they end up getting dressed. I don't get them dressed every day.
Right.
It's like, we're not going anywhere. Just be comfy.
Yeah.
If you want to get dressed, go for it. If you don't, I'm not going to.
That's exactly how we are. I literally have so many clothes for the kids that are comfy clothes. So when Maverick wants to get dressed, I'm like, just go grab a pair of sweats and a t-shirt. Yeah. You know?
Most of the time I'm in sweats or leggings or something. So, like, same. If I'm not putting on jeans, why am I going to make them put on jeans?
Exactly. Yeah. And we always every year we try to get a new pair of jammies for everybody. This year we kind of already did it, like, way early. I mean, when you guys are listening to this, it's December, but I bought them like October. Because we're big Grinch people.
Right.
And I found 2 pairs of Grinch jammies well, 3, I guess, at Target. And so I just swooped them up. And then Michael and I got Grinch sweatshirts from Walmart. And so I'm like, I can't really justify buying more because that is Christmas related. So we're set for that. But
yeah, I kind of wish that we had, like, something like that we do every year. But like I've said previously, my husband hates decorating for Christmas.
Yeah, he's a bah humbug.
He is. He's my Scrooge. I had to force this man to wear the red and black checker ones for Christmas Eve. Last year was, I think, year prior, I was pregnant with Ellie.
Oh, yes.
Was the first year I was ever able to convince him to do it. And I got to take a picture. Yeah. That's the one where I'm, like, holding Damon and he's holding Anna. And yeah. I guess I have Ellie in my belly.
Right.
Which, if you've ever heard me call Ellie Bell, it comes from Ellie in my belly.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's stupid.
That is cute.
But so that was the first year I ever got him to do that because he's like, I'm not doing the whole matching thing. But I'm cute.
Right.
We never do any kind of traditions or anything because he doesn't want to listen to Christmas music.
Oh, we rock out. We jam out.
He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to watch Christmas movies. Whereas I'm like, I grew up, that's one. Ooh, hold on. One tradition that I had growing up was we had the Christmas collection. I will post a picture of it right here.
All the old ones.
All the old ones that has like Frosty the Snowman. It had Little Drummer Boy. It had
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Cricket on the Hearth. What else did it have? I swear there's like, I think I'm missing one because I think there was 6 total. And I think that 6th one is one that I never really watched. But I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. I'll have them listed.
Yeah.
You're going to have to seek that out if you're listening. Sorry. But so yeah, we would watch those like every year growing up. We would like, and we had a couple other Christmas movies that we would watch, but we would always watch Christmas movies.
Yeah.
My mom would always find like the Charlie Brown Christmas, wherever it was on, you know.
Yep.
We would listen to Christmas music pretty much the whole season, especially when we're like decorating and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But my husband hates doing that stuff.
Thomas.
I know. He's a Grinch. He's a Scrooge. He just, if he could get away with not doing anything, he wouldn't.
Yeah.
Which makes me sad because I'm a festive person.
I know. I'm so glad that Michael is just as festive, if not more.
You know when they say opposites attract?
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
Not when it comes to the holidays, damn it.
That's not fair.
Yeah,
especially because we got together during Christmas.
True.
Literally during Christmas. Like over the Christmas, like 2 weeks off that you have from school is when me and his relationship started budding.
Yeah.
Because we had like a majority of our relationship grew during that time where we were like away from each other and talking on the phone. And then we got officially together on that New Year's in going into 2014.
Yeah.
But he told me he loved me like a couple days before Christmas.
Right.
Hence why our anniversary is a couple days before Christmas.
Right.
But like
even my husband, who his birthday is December 19th, so he didn't really have the separation between birthday and Christmas. You would think he was the one.
Right.
That would be like, ugh, Christmas.
But no, he loves Christmas.
Yeah.
And then my husband's just meh.
I think I've also grown Michael's love for Christmas as we've been together longer, because when we first got together he was kind of like, yeah, let's do it, but you know, whatever. Now he will be the one, he's the one that got me to put all this shit up early.
And see,
right now it's December or November 7th.
Yep, November 7th is real time today. Basically
all of our stuff is up minus the tree and our blow ups in the yard. All of our stuff is up.
Yep, I'm ready. I want to put it up.
Yeah.
I want whatever. Granted, we are going to wait till we're done with the kids' room.
Right.
I
Fair.
agreed
Fair.
because a lot of like 99% of their toys are in the living room anyways.
Yeah.
So
it get
kind
kind
of
of hectic. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of can't put it up right now. But
Yeah.
So I agree. I will wait at least until their room is
Yeah.
reorganized and we've done that. But then I make no promises.
I just love it.
I want
something about it is just so nice.
I have a
and happy,
ridiculously intense desire to put the tree up, have the lights on, turn all of the other lights off except for like maybe a lamp, and then just knit while I'm watching a movie because I learned how to knit. I learned how to knit. I learned. You know the mantra that I learned for knitting?
You sent it to me.
I did. I couldn't remember if I'd sent it to you or not.
Yeah, you sent it to me. Yeah.
Stab it. Strangle it. Scoop out its guts. Throw it off a cliff. I can't unhear it now when I'm knitting, and I'm just like, oh, this is so much fun.
That's funny.
I'm knitting Anna a Barbie blanket.
Yeah.
I'm having so much fun. I love knitting and crocheting. And so that's like a good tradition too, is that every year somebody's knitting or crocheting something.
Yep. I usually start crocheting some things around this time of the year. My mom has gotten huge into crocheting. It was funny because when I was growing up, even in like high school, I would crochet things, and my mom she just was never about that. And then
so did you get her into it?
Kind of. I told her that she should start, and she was like, well, I don't really know how to do that. And I was like, Mom, it's not that hard. And then she started picking it up, and then now she can do things that I can't even do. And she can read. I can't read the freaking things to save my life.
Me either. The patterns.
My mom's like, yeah, you just blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, Mom.
Yeah, I look at the
How
patterns.
did you figure that out?
Like, I'm like, I wanted a sweater. But I look at that and I'm like,
yeah.
What?
I need to have like a crochet day with my mom so that she can just show me how to do those things, because she said that she just learned through watching like YouTube videos.
See,
and I've tried,
do.
but it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Still. So I need her to like hands-on show me how to do it.
Yeah. Like that's how I learned how to knit and crochet, at least it's as far as like the basics.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Was like those, YouTube videos of like people showing with their hands.
Yeah.
How they do it, and they do it slowly.
Right.
But then beyond that, like when they're like, oh yeah, you do a cable knit here and you go blah, 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 blah. I'm like, how do you start that?
Yep.
Or they'll be like, oh yeah, you do a cross double backwards crochet. I don't fucking know. I don't know the names of different things.
Yeah.
Whatever. Or it's like the loop back double crochet or something. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, see that? Like when I get it.
But how do I perform it?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
my hands won't do what you're saying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally get that.
I want to do that because like I'm such a creative person. Mm-hmm. Like I would love it if like I could start the tradition of every single year I knit the kids a sweater.
Yeah.
Granted, but then I'm gonna be that mom that they're like, oh, mom knit me a sweater.
You're gonna be Mrs. Weasley.
Hey, I'm an old lady at heart.
Yeah.
I have always been like, that's me. I'm an old lady at heart.
Yep.
Thomas literally 100%. Tells me that because he saw me knitting this morning and he was just like, I married an old lady. And I'm like,
they're the best though.
It's so comforting.
Old lady, young women are the best.
Right?
The best. You don't have to worry about them. They ain't out partying.
Exactly.
They aren't Instagramming.
Yeah.
They're just sitting at home with their coffee, tea, and
yeah, I ain't gonna cheat on you. I'm knitting a sweater.
Yeah, I ain't got time for that.
I need to try.
I got 3 sweaters to make.
Exactly. I got shit to do. And that's like the hobby girls. Yeah. That like they're always doing something new. Mm-hmm. And it's always the girls with ADHD.
Yeah. I feel like I don't always have something going on, but when I pick up something, I'm on it for like months.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Knitting is my most recent thing because I'm like, I have a bunch of yarn that I need to try to figure out how to do with. So I'm like, new hobby.
Right.
Make a tradition happen.
Yeah.
Whether it's knitting a blanket
that would be a good one.
Whatever.
Yeah. I've made a few blankets.
That's what I want to do.
Made a few hats. Mm-hmm. I made a scarf, but there's only one person I know that actually uses a scarf, so I don't make very many.
Yeah. I want to do all the things. Mm-hmm. I want to create things, but I don't want to create the things that people are like, oh, thanks, donate.
Right.
I want, like, if I'm going to create something, I want it to be something that someone's actually excited to wear.
Yeah.
Because, like, I love knit sweaters, but not all of them.
Right. The right kind. You got to find the right yarns.
Yeah.
That's the problem, is that some people don't use the right yarns.
And then they're, like, itchy.
Stiff.
Like, I want something that's going to be cozy.
Like, my mom made the kids one, I think it was Quincy. She made Quincy a sweater, and it was, like, the perfect yarn. Oh, yes. And I got so many compliments on it when she was really little, so it doesn't fit her anymore. You're
going to have to show me eventually.
I have to find it. I might have a picture of it, actually. I think I have a picture of it. Okay. But she's also made one in the past for Maverick. It was the same style, but it was a different yarn, and it was so stiff on him that I just it never fit him right because it was just too stiff. So it really is about the yarn that you use.
It is. It totally is.
Yeah.
See, that's what I want to do. Yeah. Because I love sweaters.
Me too. Literally.
I love sweaters.
Me too. But yeah. Traditions. One that we're leaving out is Cookie Day.
Oh, duh.
I have always done Cookie Day with my mom.
Which we will have like an entire video kind of dedicated to Cookie Day about like going in depth, but we can touch on this.
Yeah, touch on it. I have always done Cookie Day. That's a big thing that I've loved to do. And then since you've moved down here, we've
kind of adopted me into it.
We've adopted you into it because you've always done it.
We always did Cookie Day. We did Cookie Day, at least as far as like my mom would do Cookie Day growing up. And, you know, be like the sugar cookies and a few other things. And then sometimes my grandma would come and help, but it was usually just my mom.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, I mean, since you guys have been down here, we've just been like, well, why don't we all do it together? So I really enjoy that day.
I love cookie day.
We'll talk about that day a little bit more.
We will.
Yeah.
We'll talk about like all the different cookies that we choose, because that's a whole topic in and of itself, and we definitely don't have enough time to break into that today.
No, we do not.
No, we do not.
Yeah. And I also want to have a podcast about Santa Claus.
Yes.
And our thoughts, because we may not have the typical thoughts that everybody else has.
Yes.
So
maybe we can dive into that next week or the week after.
Yeah. Maybe we should dive into that with our gifts ideas. That might be a good
one
duo.
Okay. So maybe next week we'll talk about cookies then.
Yeah. Yep.
And then the following week we're gonna maybe be talking about presents. Santa Claus. And then the next week will be all about Christmas, because that one comes out on Christmas Day.
Yes. So if you guys need a break from your family, you can go check out the podcast. Yep, because we all know that Christmas can be overwhelming. Yeah. Even though I love all the traditions, sometimes at the end of Christmas, I'm like, wow, that was quite the day. Yeah. I'm tired.
Oh, yeah. Not to mention that Christmas, like literally Christmas night at midnight is like the end of the hectic holiday season. Yes. Because it goes Halloween, Thanksgiving. We also have birthdays thrown in there.
So many.
And then Christmas. Yeah. And so with those three things, once Christmas is over, it's like you can actually take a breath.
Yep. And then I spend that next week trying to get my house clean, in order, all the Christmas stuff gone. Yep. So I can go into the new year fresh.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. We try to do the same thing, too. Because it's like, I understand now why, like, some people don't really want to get their kids toys and stuff for Christmas. Because, like, you get a whole bunch of toys, and then it's like, cool. Where is this going?
Right. That is another tradition that Michael and I have adopted since having Maverick, is before Christmas, like, we're going to do it probably this coming weekend, we purge a lot of toys because we know how many are coming in.
Yep. And see, I think about that too. And the part that I really struggle with that, and maybe it's just because I'm somebody that, like, I'm a hand-me-downs type person. Yeah. Is I'm like, well, what if one of my other kids wants to play with this?
Yeah. We usually don't purge it in the sense of, like, completely getting rid of it. We purge it in the sense of it's in totes in the garage.
Yeah. And then you can reevaluate at a later date.
Yeah, and we do. We usually bring it out mid-year the following year. And, like, this time we did it, and Quincy was able to pull out things that she liked. And Maverick was like, oh, I remember that, and would grab it out.
That's a good idea, because we have some, like, baby toys and stuff that we're like, oh, well, if we ever decide to have another kid, I don't want to get rid of this. Because that's how I was with Anna, with Damon, now with Ellie. Yeah. Of being like, I'm not willing to commit.
Everything too. Yep, exactly.
That's how I am with clothing.
Same. I have
all the kids' clothes. Oh yeah. Yeah. My husband recently just did kind of a clean out of our storage, and he was when he was looking into all the different bins. Yeah. He was like, we have like 6 totes of kids' clothes that are like mixed in with things that they shouldn't be mixed in. So he brought all those home, and I had to go through and reorganize everything. Yeah. So I reorganized it by, is this girl clothes? Is this boy clothes? Does this kind of fit into both? Yeah. What age is it? And so now there's like, I think I did a total of 4 bins that are now perfectly organized.
That's what I need to do, because a lot of mine, it's just thrown in there. They're not even like folded or anything. Yep. They're all matched ages. And
yep. That's exactly what we had going on. Yeah. We had stuff that like was not even kid related in some of the bins.
Yep. I have that too.
And Thomas was like, Kaylee,
my thought process is, oh, there's still room in this bin. I could put that in here and I'll get it out later.
And then you lose that bin.
Yes.
Yeah. When Ellie was 6 months old, we went to go, pull out some of like Anna's old clothes. Yeah. Couldn't find half of it. Why? It was buried under something else.
Yep. When we were cleaning out our garage this summer, we started labeling every tote, and I mean specifics.
Oh, yes.
Because we've never labeled totes, because we figured, we'll just open them and see what's in there. But that's a lot harder than you think. It sounds easy, but when you're trying to actually find something, it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. And as far as traditions go, sometimes I always wonder if that's where spring cleaning comes from, is from the holiday season of getting a whole bunch of stuff. And then you're like, my house is now chaotic. I need to purge something. Yeah. And so I wonder if that's where it comes from, because like some people purge before, but then, like I said, spring cleaning is something that a lot of people do. And that is like the time where everybody's like putting things in bins to do their garage sales in the summer.
Right.
Makes me think about like, oh, I wonder if that comes from the holiday season from just a couple months
Oh,
prior.
I bet. Yeah, totally.
Because why else?
Yeah.
I mean, I know that spring is supposed to be like the season of new and whatever.
Yeah.
But sometimes I wonder.
Yeah. It makes sense logically.
Because like that's a tradition, I think. A lot of people, whether they like consider it spring cleaning or not,
Right. They just naturally kind of do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's my wonder.
Yeah. Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Because I definitely need to get my purging on before Christmas hits. Which is something we're doing now that we're cleaning out the kids' room. And since it basically got completely gutted, it made it really easy. And we're going to be reorganizing all their toys and stuff.
Yeah,
so
and you can see what you have and everything.
Yep. So I might need to grab a bin and...
Yeah, and the other thing is that I tend to, if I get things and I don't like them for the kids, I don't let my kids have them.
That also
I don't
leads
know
to
if that
so
sounds
much
bad.
guilt.
It does.
It's like, ugh.
I have things that are unopened that have been gifted to the kids that I've just kept into a box.
Maybe we can dive more into that in the gifts episode.
Yeah.
Talking about like being gifted something. Mm-hmm. Because I think we've all been gifted something that we don't love and we don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And you hold on to it for way too long.
Way too long because you're like, but Aunt Susie gave that to me when I was 3 years old.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've never used it, but she gave it to me and I love her. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I don't have an Aunt Susie, but
me either. Not that I know of.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think traditions can be a special thing.
I think they can be too. And
I'm always looking to like make new ones, and you know, I think it brings family together.
I think it does. And I think it does in a really beautiful way if done right.
Right. True.
So what traditions do you have for the holiday season? You know, do you do any of the things that we do, or do you do something completely different that maybe we hadn't thought of? Because I'm sure we would all love some new ideas and
yeah, definitely.
different traditions that maybe we could incorporate into our own families, either me and Mandee or you guys.
Yeah. If
you hear or see something that interests you.
Mm-hmm.
So let us know. And I hope that you are getting an awesome time into the holiday season, whether you've started yet or not.
Yes.
And we'll see you next week for Cookie Day.
Cookie Day.
Cookie Day. Bye.
Bye.